Scott just made the point.
Jefferson used to be a lot more secure, not just.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, it's time to take another look at the great sucking black hole of narcissism and need known as celebrity. You know, the utter, do you know who I am? Demand for presidential suites, private jets of a certain size, Gulfstream 450 or higher can't be seen slumming around in a Learjet or a Premier or, heaven forbid, a Citation. You know, strict control of image and photographers, limits to the number of unwashed peasants who can approach the great person, and so on. It goes to character, I think, to a person's character. This obsessive preening. And so let's bring in Steve Green and Scott Ott to look at some of the touring requirements of one of the biggest celebrities in America today. Welcome, lads. Gentlemen, famed selfless public servant and former indigent First Lady Hillary Clinton said, quote, "I felt the tug of my service gene, that voice telling me that there's no higher calling or more noble purpose than serving your country," unquote. Now, somehow, Madam Clinton found the strength to resist this genetic defect, calling her to raise other people's children and tell other people what to do. And so she is, quote, "spending more time with my family, reconnecting with friends, and doing the everyday things that I missed," unquote. So here are some of the everyday simple things that any mom might do on a speaking trip to UNLV, the University of Nevada at Las Vegas. Demand to stay in the presidential suite, any presidential suite. It's the spirit of the thing. Travel by private jet, but only a Gulfstream 450 or larger. Bring an entourage of up to 20 aides to scope out the site in advance with expenses paid natch. Be contractually guaranteed to be the only person on stage during the event. Speak no longer than 90 minutes. Pose for no more than 50 photos with no more than 100 people. No press or video coverage of the event. No publication of pictures taken with the hoi polloi. The sole record shall be made by a stenographer. The transcript given only to Madam Clinton, and the $1,250 stenographer bill is passed on to the students at UNLV. Oh, and a check for about $225,000. Now, Steve, where would these poor, unwashed masses be, all of us, without Hillary Clinton's selfless service gene?
Geez, you know what? I'm so glad you did this. Early this morning, I was doing my work-at-home dad routine, taking care of my 4-year-old and getting him ready to school and getting him to school. We were actually running a little late this morning because something about this hit me from our conference call on Monday, and so I wrote a little piece for vodkapudit.com about this very thing this morning. And it struck me in the middle of trying to get my kid ready for school that most celebrities don't last very long. Some of them age gracefully and exit the stage gracefully. I'm thinking here of Cary Grant. I'm thinking of Lauren Bacall, just passed away last week. Some of the old school greats knew how to do this. The studios groomed them for it. Today, Kevin Costner seems to be doing that same sort of thing. He's picking age-appropriate roles. He's not trying to be the super action romantic lead guy. He's doing this well. Tom Cruise is not. He's still trying to do the big budget summer sci-fi action movie, even though I think he's 52 years old if I look this up right. And he's in great shape, but at some point you got to look back and start setting an example for guys like me or even younger who are starting to come into more of our gray hairs. You can't just keep putting shoe polish on your head every day. And then you have stars who flame out like Lady Gaga, who just never had that much talent to begin with. But then you've got the super duper stars like Madonna, who have so much money that you can't pry them off the stage with the hook. There's no getting rid of them, and nobody can tell them no anymore. They get whatever they want, no matter how condescending or venal or rude that it turns out to be for their fans. That's where Madonna is. That's the road Hillary Clinton is on. It's going to be really interesting watching her try and switch gears from Madonna to presidential contender, if she's even still interested in the White House at all.
Yeah, if she runs, she's going to position herself as Gandhi in a pantsuit. You mark my words. Scott, the cost of this extravaganza has to go somewhere, and in this case, it'll ultimately be borne by the tuition-paying students of UNLV. Do you think it ever dawns on any of these googly-eyed millennial admirers who will flock to see her? The things like this are the reason that they graduate with $250,000 in student debt. And what does it say about the character of a person that would do that?
I think there are a couple of character issues here. One is that, if you're going to say I'm, tugging on my public service gene, which, by the way, I think comes with age. Hillary Clinton and I both have to tug on our genes more than we used to get them on.
Genes and dad genes.
I think that there's this disconnect for the students in many cases. I don't think they realize all the elements that go into the cost of their education. Many of them probably have no idea that Hillary Clinton is making this kind of dough to come and speak to them. But what's really offensive about this is that the reason why Hillary Clinton is being called upon to speak in public, everything that she is going to give in that speech, she got at public expense over years as a senator and as a first lady and, you know, and maybe in the future as something else, I fear. But she is now taking that which she acquired at public expense and turning around and selling it to the public.
Yeah, she's selling socialism at $250,000 a pop. That's in a private jet. That's exactly right, Scott. That's exactly what we're doing. Hey, folks, just so we're crystal clear on something, look, I'm a capitalist and I'm a public speaker. Like Hillary Clinton, I'd like to get paid as much as I can for the work that I do. Unlike Mrs. Clinton, however, I don't claim to have a public service gene and that I toil for the peasants late into the night for the glory of the proletariat. It's the hypocrisy of this multimillionaire claiming she was flat broke upon leaving the White House and that this incredible racket she's spun for herself is somehow in the public good. It's revolting. Now, second, there is a clause that's not in my speaking contract because it doesn't have to be. And that clause is very simply this. I'm going to be the last person out of that room. I'm going to be the last person out of that room. People have come to pay me to give me this incredible lifestyle. I'll be the last person out. As long as someone wants to talk or take pictures or whatever, I'm going to be there. I admire and I like the people I meet on the road. They're interesting people. They're fun. It's a pleasure to interact and learn from them. That must be that selfish gene I read about. For PJTV, I'm Bill Whittle.